The Weed of the Week is sponsored by the Enlist Weed Control System from Dow AgroSciences, a new herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate.
You work to protect your farm's legacy and to keep it going. Introducing the Enlist Weed Control System, an advanced herbicide and trait system that will build on glyphosate for exceptional control of tough weeds. The next chapter begins.
Well, if you're trying to figure out what our Weed of the Week is, you're probably wondering, well, what is it? I don't see anything behind the corn and soybeans there on the screen.
Yeah, but our Weed of the Week is volunteer corn, and we like to talk about volunteer corn every year because it is the worst yield robber, weed for weed, in soybeans, hands down. So don't think, oh, it's velvet leaf, it's water hemp, it's Palmer pigweed. Weed for weed, volunteer corn takes the most yield.
Well, it's important when we think about volunteer corn. A lot of guys will say, well, should I spray on my first pass out in my field or on my second pass? We absolutely want to spray on that first pass. And if there's some more volunteer corn that comes up later, you'll have to spray on that second pass too.
All right, let's talk about why do we want to spray it on the first pass though?
Well, on the first pass, it's really important. Like Brian said, it's a big time yield robber. Corn takes a lot of water, a lot of nutrients out of the ground. It can definitely hurt your soybeans early in the season. But the other thing is, corn rootworm larvae will use that as a host. If you're saying, well, I'm going to plant corn this year, then soybeans the next year, just to try and break any disease issues or rootworm issues, wrong answer if you let the volunteer corn go. You have to kill volunteer corn.
Okay, but here's the good news. It's inexpensive to do it. It's probably $3 to $5 an acre is all. Select Max you can use. There are also many other products like Arrow, or you could use Post, you could use Assure, you can use a whole bunch of different things. But
here's the problem with all those products, they're very slow working. So when you spray them, it's probably going to take several weeks before you completely kill that corn. So if you're impatient like Brian and you want to find out, man, am I really doing the job? After a week or two, pull the whorl out of the corn, look at the bottom of the whorl. If it's still white and healthy, well, you didn't do a good job. But if it's starting to turn brown and mushy, then you got the weed under control.
Okay, if you had volunteer corn and wheat, we don't have a lot of real great suggestions for you. You could certainly try Axial or Puma, something like that, and it might help you a little bit.
Or a corn knife.
Right. It's generally no big deal having a little volunteer corn and wheat because the wheat has gotten up early and choked it out.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Weed, volunteer corn, but Iron Talk is coming up next.